I was going to do. I was I'm gonna put that on this paper here. I was going to do that. Yeah.
Looking for the perfect remote job? Find your next remote role at remote.com/jobs. Explore a world of exciting remote opportunities with today's top companies. Search for your dream job with the information you need.
India will not do badly as an economy.
Yeah. Got it. I'll just take.
This guy kids. This nigga. You see what I'm saying? You just don't know. Don't know nothing more people than you watch them, boy. I be watching people, bro. This guy kids. This guy.
Will also be used to provide a monthly allowance of 800 yuan
Yeah,
or $114 per child to all households. It goes on with some other details. So they're actually talking about money in the hands of consumers, like what we saw in the US. So for the first time, it's not happened before. For the first time, they're talking about fiscal stimulus, and that's the reason why this sort of excitement, added excitement. As I said, there have been at least 2 other big rallies in China since 2020. So the graphics will come up. The first rally was the COVID pivot. That was the 4th quarter of 2022. Market moved up 53% in 3 months. The second rally was in the 1st quarter of 2024. Market moved up 41% in 4 months flat. Guess what? From the lows of September 11th this month, the Chinese market is up 22%. So, you don't have to be completely convinced that this is the thing. Even if it is tactical, it doesn't last. The point is the rallies are very large when they happen. Anything between 40 and 50%, Anish, right? So for our viewers here, can they get exposure? Fund of funds, etc. Any thoughts?
I mean, there are funds in the market. I wouldn't like to pitch any specific funds, but there are
sense for investors here right now.
Look, I always feel having a diversified exposure makes sense, and as part of that diversification strategy, China also makes sense. I mean, in some of our funds, like the business cycle fund, we do have China exposure. Yeah.
So, Anish,
where we are allowed, yeah.
Rather than talking about India versus China, should it be India and China? Because, one of the thought processes, if China does well, EM does well. And if EM does well, the flow into EM's funds will also mean automatically we get the 20% share, right? So, and we've seen this historically, when EM does well, India also does well. So, should we look at more of China doing well to India? It helps India as well.
See, we've not been short of flows, right?
Yeah,
the market, if
no,
anything,
it's all about FI flows.
But then we've had domestic flows, so it's not that the market valuations have been constrained by flows. So at this point, I would not want to build a case based on flows for the Indian markets, right? If anything, India has had too much flows.
Too much of flows, yeah.
Right. So one should focus on earnings growth, and the outlook is reasonable. But so our valuations are also very rich, right? So I wouldn't want to say, look, let's get more excited about India because of flows.
No, but Anish, I think just to complete the picture, and then we'll take a break and come to the local story here. Tactically, would you expect foreign portfolio investors, till now they've been coming in via blocks, etc., and it's been a domestic rally. If they tactically start taking profits in India to move that money to China as a short-term tactical trade, will that cause an overhang, or are you guys already flush with so much money it wouldn't matter? You'll simply, pick up whatever they're selling?
post facto, if and when the correction happens, we'll always find reasons for why it happened, right? So the reality is, look, corrections happen when valuations are rich, right? And we are not sitting on cheap valuations. So it could be because of this, it could be because of something else. But at this point, one shouldn't rule out that we can't see a correction in India and stuff like that.
Fair enough.
I think, Surabhi, the point that Nimesh was making, look, 95% of foreign money in India, 95% comes through emerging market funds.
And there's China there.
There's China there. So if China gets money, we get our money in whatever percentage that we have. So that's
and let's see if there's any other sort of specific, selling out of India dedicated funds, but anyway, they're smaller in number.
I'll add, India, because while we are talking about inflows, right, India is also seeing a lot of paper supply, right? The promoters are selling, MNCs are selling. So at this point, right, arguing for more flows, you also see more supply of paper coming in. So
one should want more supply, not demand.
So I think he won't mind even if foreigners want to sell a bit and move to another market because there's paper there for domestic institutions to buy. In fact, we need to take a quick break on that note. On the other side, the other major theme that's coming to surface, which is this whole shift from mid-caps, small caps to large caps. How do you play it? Back in just a moment with that.
Okay, welcome back. You're with us here on Editors Roundtable. Large caps are starting to perform, finally starting to perform. And Nimesh, give us the data.
Well, Prashant, I took this piece only because when I talked to
The latest MagGo lineup is out, the 6 series. So the Anker MagGo power bank is a 10,000 mAh battery that supports Qi 2 and it's MagSafe compatible. It supports 15-watt wireless charging and temperature control. And then the Anker MagGo wireless charging station, this thing charges 3 devices at once: iPhone, AirPods, and your Apple Watch all at the same time.
Start my day, I might hit the little
Stocks continue to decline in a broad-based rally. Telecom, energy, and realty are the big gainers, even as IT drags mid-caps outperform.
I might come back, do some Call of Duty.
Vodafone Idea is deal with Nokia, Ericsson, and Samsung for network share worth $3.6 billion, and as the Supreme Court rejected a review of the HER deal. Experts remain circumspect
about its
outlook.
I might start a new way to study on
HDFC Bank HDB Financial is set to float a 2,500 crore IPO via an offer for sale to meet RBI guidelines, while Brookfield-backed Leela Palaces has lined up a 5,000 crore IPO years after the earlier listed hotel Leela ran into trouble.
Tata Steel commissions its blast furnace at Kalinganagar for expanding its capacity at the site from 3 million to 8 million tons per annum at an outlay of about 27,000 crores. This comes even as the industry battles a rise in imports from China.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi tells CEOs of the big tech companies in the US that his aim is to make India a hub for chip manufacturing and assures them of IP protection. This is even as India and US agreed to set up a multi-chip fabrication unit in Jewar, Uttar Pradesh.
Good afternoon, you're watching us here on Halftime Report. I'm Manglam Malu, with me Ekta Batra. It's a good day of trade for the markets. I call it good because Friday was a record-setting rally for our markets, and thereafter Monday there's a follow-on gain, almost 100 points on the Nifty, 150 points on the Sensex, and the Nifty Bank doing well as well. Yes, there has been slight moderation from the highs, but that's pretty par for the course. Mid-cap index doing extremely well with 0.6% in terms of gains, and nearly 2 stocks expanding for every 1 stock which is declining in trade today. So all said and done, it's a good Monday for the bulls. Hi, Ekta.
Hi, Manglam. Yes, absolutely. Well, for the Nifty, we are up around 80 odd points at this point in time. We were sitting at those record highs, so no complaints coming in. We have the mid-cap index, which is up around 0.6%, and the advanced decline ratio, which is holding steady on the advancing side. But nonetheless, we do have a lot of ground to cover. Let's start with a lot of stocks which are in focus. Voda Idea surged in trade after concluding a $3.6 billion supply deal for network upgradation with vendors. Amakshi is here with the details.
Well, Vodafone Idea is definitely surging in trade today. It's a big respite that is coming in for the company, and in fact, that is on account of the mega deal that they concluded with Nokia, Ericsson and Samsung. This is worth almost $3.6 billion or nearly 50,000 crores. This deal is for supply of network equipment over the next 3 years, and in fact marks the first step towards the rollout of the company's ambitious capex plan. Keep in mind that they have a capex plan, or it's a 3-year capex capex plan for almost 6.6 billion US dollars, which is worth almost 55,000 crores. This is a big positive because the street had been waiting for this capex plan. It's some announcement to come through from the company, especially after the equity raise, and it has finally come through, giving a much needed respite to Vodafone Idea after the development that we saw on the AGR front. But apart from that, there's also an analyst meet scheduled today at 2:30 p.m. So we will be watching out for the commentary that comes through from the management there as well. Overall, positive for Vodafone Idea. The stock is surging in trade on the back of this news.
You know what I mean? You supposed to be
positive for the near term. Let's see how the medium to long term pans out with regards to the liquidity sort of issues, and which is why it explains a decline from the highs on the stock as well, though it's still holding with gains of almost 5%. Vamakshi, but you're also looking at Fusion Microfinance down and out in today's trading session on account of fears of higher ECL provisioning.
Well, absolutely. That stock is down and out. In fact, locked in the lower circuit as we speak. And that is because the company may be required to make ECL or estimated credit loss provisioning between 500 to 550 crores in the second quarter as compared to 348 crores as seen in the first quarter. Now, this is definitely a big negative for the company. And that is because when you have higher provisioning, it also impacts the profit of the company. So a bit of a negative out there as well. But in addition to that, the company has also said that they have initiated search for a new MD and CEO, citing increased macro complexity as well as changing sectoral.
This is why I stopped shopping on Amazon, and you should too. Don't spend another dime on Amazon until you watch this first.
Watch this. I can show you how to get the sweetest deals online when you shop from major retailers like Amazon and Target. You can drop prices automatically. I can show you how, but I can't do it for you.
Sectors are concerned early, but the big pain point has been the IT services index that is starting about 1/4% higher. So 42,024 as far as the Nifty IT index is concerned. Market breadth out of the gate seems to be positive. In the proportion, the ratio of about 2:1. 20 stocks are lower. The heat map on your screen, 20 lower, and about 30 stocks are starting up in the green. So that's the first look at market open. Surabhi.
Okay. Extremely quiet. Let's look at what's moving on the Nifty 50. Maruti Suzuki is the leader right now, 1% gain, followed by SBI Life. Then comes in Shriram Finance, and then you have a few tech names that have been sulking in the last couple of sessions. They're finding some green today. So Infosys would be one of those stocks. Tech Mahindra, LTI, Mindfield, a bit of a little shade of.
You ain't cleaning up a motherfucking thing. That's a no-go for me.